Hi guys, Pigmoon here with another video after a while. I've covered the Indian Air Force and Navy extensively. There were still many disgruntled and racist comments from Indians who don't know much, but they think that their armed forces are that great, but how wrong they are. In this video, I shall cover an article from a former Chief of Navy of India criticizing his own Navy and defense industries. Come, let's go. Admiral Arun Prakash wrote this article on IndiaTimes.com on the Navy's rejection of the Tejas as a lesson and failure of the DRDO, which is the Defense Development Agency. The Indian Navy recently rejected the failed fighter Tejas. Immediately issued an RFI or request for information for 57 multi-role fighters for future carriers. This rejection of the Tejas has been long in the plans, and it was underperforming from various issues like being overweight, underpowered to aerodynamics. It is indeed a failed Indian fighter. That's total lemon. It shows how poor Indian defense engineering actually is. It shows the lack of talent and in fact a lot of fraud ongoing. The Admiral goes on to say how poor DRDO is with its Made in India initiative and how desperate the Indian Navy was to confirm the specifications of the future carrier. Due to repeated delays and failures of the Tejas, it's a really shameful thing. They failed their FOC multiple times. Only 3 aircraft delivered now to the Air Force, continuously to fail even weapons integration like the Astra missile. It's totally like a turkey that is useless. India is really left behind, frankly, by the Chinese in a Navy dominance, and the Admiral predicts that the Chinese Navy will enter the Indian Ocean in the near future and reduce India's influence with her carriers and nuclear submarines. Though he predicts a robust Indian response, I reckon India can only make white noise at the moment, beat the drums. They can't do much with such an inept and sick defense industry. And I guess it's not just the industry; the people are also quite sick and I would say backward, racist. This is a shameful times 2. The Indian Navy, in fact, actually did try her best, according to the Admiral, to accommodate the Tejas, but with so many weaknesses, such as the need for a reinforced undercarriage, fuselage redesign, and the engine being so weak. Seems that they have given up. The Navy has given up totally before announcing the rejection. Despite what other people might say, there's waiting for Mark to please. It's not going to happen, and probably be another foreign buy. Again, a good decision by the Indian Navy to kill the Naval Tejas. I guess the Air Force should actually take this decision wisely and also cancel the entire project. It's a turkey. The retired Admiral also described 3 DRDO reasons or excuses for abysmal performance. 1. Exaggerated bragging of their abilities. I think this is a very Indian thing, that they like to brag about their things or their capabilities when they have none. 2. A lack of intellectual honesty in admitting obvious failures. Another Indian characteristic, they never admit their failures. Look at the comments, it's very sickening and stupid. Thirdly, unwillingness to seek external help because of their bragging. Of course, they won't seek external help. It will also show how shameful and how lousy they are. These 3 very good excuses of a sick organization with a weak leadership is repeatedly guilty of pulling all these lies and excuses to cheat the Indian people. The lack of proper ability to provide guidance into the Indian defense industry from the political leadership is also mentioned by the Admiral. But again, people can praise Modi all they want. Still, the DRDO amount of money wasted is just sickening and it's just corrupt. I would say corrupt. Should we just say that it's inept? So how sad is the Indian defense? I would think that it's obsolete, it's left behind. It is just floating ships with obsolete aircraft, and I think that's how sad the Navy is. Air Force, I guess even worse. 71% obsolete. They just failed. 50% AOG on the Su-30, useless. So the main 2 services are already useless. The army is not far behind. Like or subscribe or add a comment at the bottom, and we can further this discussion and whether this whole thing is actually moving or not. Thanks for watching.